Hi, my name is Kitty. I am a girl who reads books. Yay! And today we're going to be discussing my November, November? November TBR. So, a little bit of a disclaimer, these are not books I'm necessarily reading in November. It is genuinely, I think, the 7th of October or something. Yeah. Uh, I love how I said October or something and not the 7th or something of October as I'm filming this. So these are not books I'm reading in November. These are books I'm reading for November. So you'll be seeing all these books in videos that come out in November because I'm going to try and pre-film as much as possible because I know that I'm about to get very, very busy. Um, but yeah, I will not keep you waiting. Another preface is I like going into the books blind. I don't know a lot about a lot of the books that are on this list. One of them is a reread, and the rest I'm going in as blind as possible, as blind as humanly possible. So the first book on our November TBR is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. I feel like I've said this now a million times. I have already read, I have not read, but I already know the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I think most people know the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but I'd never read the original text for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And so when I saw this, I picked it up. I was like, why not? It's a classic. It's very, very short. The other book in this, or short story in this, is The Bottle Imp from Robert Louis Stevenson. And I am intrigued to see what I think about both. It's a very, very short book. I don't know why I had the story. I like in my head, the story was longer than it is, but it is a short story. So what was I thinking? So yeah, this is the first book that we're going to try and read in. Do you like my cake stand? This is the first story. This is the first book that I'm going to be reading. The second book on our November TBR is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, which is the final book in the Part of Your World trilogy interconnected series. Um, from Abby Jimenez, and I loved the first two books. I loved Part of Your World. I loved Yours Truly so much. I read Yours Truly first, not realizing it was part of a series, or part of like this world. And then I read Part of Your World, and I loved that slightly even more. And then now I'm reading Just for the Summer, and I'm finishing it out, and I'm so excited to like see what happens in this because Abby Jimenez does such a good job of exploring more serious topics within her romances without it feeling like the romance is taking too much of a backseat. I'm pretty sure in this we follow Justin and Emma, who are cursed, quote unquote, in that every single time they break up with a partner, that person ends up finding the love of their life like immediately after their relationship, and they decide to start dating in order to cancel each other out, and I'm assuming shenanigans and love ensue. I don't know where I got the word shenanigans in my vocabulary, but it is there now. So second book that we're reading. The third book that I have is The Ministry of Time by Kaylee Ann Bradley, and what I know about this is it's about time travel. That is pretty much all I know about this. It's about a guy who's brought back from the 1900s somewhere, and the person taking care of him in current day time has to take care of him in modern day time and make sure that he's not too overwhelmed with modern day time because that must be horrifying. But yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about this. I know that a lot of people love it, and I'm intrigued. I don't read a lot of like sci-fi-ish fantasy, um, or even sci-fi general, so I'm intrigued to see whether I like this or not, and maybe this would be like my gateway into more sci-fi, possibly, if I like it. Who knows? The next book on our TBR is Cat and Mouse. Listen, I read two books by R.F. Kuang. I'm in the middle of my third from her. And I kid you not when I say I will buy every single book that this woman writes. I don't care. I I will read this. So Catabasis by Arf Kwong follows two students who, what was it? Who I don't know what they do, but their professor ends up in hell, so they go down into hell to save him. I'm assuming save him. I don't know if it's actually to save him. Anyway, so I got this the day came out, and I am so excited. I'm so excited. I am genuinely so excited. This will be my fourth Arf Kwong book, unless I read The Burning God before this, but even then, my fourth Arf Kwong, and I'm so excited to sit down and learn. I know that a lot of people have issues with. I kind of hate that I'm talking about other books, but it's kind of the basis where I have like my trusted people, and usually like, they enjoy it. Not always, but most of the time. But I do know so many people get on our phone for being like, it's too academic. I have to look things up. Like that's what fun in her books is. Is it not? The fun in dark academia is the academic side of it. That's the point of dark academia. Is it's academic. Oh my god. Anyway, I'm excited for this. I'm excited to have to look up every second word that she writes because I had to do it with Babel. Don't even try me. I had to do it with Babel. So excited for this. I'm genuinely so excited. Oh, this is gonna be such a good time. The next book that I have on my TBR is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I know nothing about this. I like actually, this is the one book on this list. No, one of two books on this list that I have literally no clue what they're about. I don't know anything about this book. I've heard, I think, more people talk about The Way of Kings than I've ever heard people talk about Mistborn. And honestly, I'm glad about it. I'm glad about it because I think going into this knowing nothing will be my saving grace. So far, I've read one other thing by Brandon Sanderson, which was Trust of the Emerald Sea, and that was gorgeous, genuinely beautiful. And so I got this, and now I'm intrigued to see. The one thing I know is that people say Brandon Sanderson does found family very well, so I'm intrigued. Um, but yeah, Mistborn. Can you tell that there's a light shining directly at me by the way the books react to it? Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I can't tell you anything about it because I don't know anything about it. I'm just intrigued to see where it takes me. I'm just along for the ride, basically. The next book on our TBR. Why did I say it like that? The next book on our TBR is Blood Over Bright Haven by Emma Wong. Again, another one that I surprisingly know nothing about because a lot of people have talked about this book, at least like per my opinion, for like what I watch. A lot of people have talked about this book, and a lot of people have loved this book, and yet somehow I have not been spoiled for a single thing about this book. I don't know anything, and I am so happy about that. Genuinely, I nothing brings me more joy than going into a book knowing nothing, being completely clueless about anything that happens in a book. I'm so excited. Another book that I can't tell you much about. This video is going to be so short because I literally have no information to give you about any of these books, and also because I'm talking at the speed of light for some reason. Anyway, um, Emma Wong, Blood Over Bright Haven. The final book on the TBR for November is A Torch Against the Night by Sawa Tahir. It's the only reread that I have. I have been longing to reread the series for so long. And I read An Ember in the Ashes a year ago, 2 years ago, and I just never continued because other books kept coming out that I wanted to read in the moment as well. And I was like, okay, I want to prioritize reading newer books and not just rereading the old ones. And yeah, but I'm finally committing to this. I'm so excited to be back with Lion and Elias. I have missed them so much. I've missed this world so much. Sabathier's writing is insanely gorgeous, and I'm so excited to read this. I really am. I'm so excited to get to this finally again. I'm so I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. Yeah. Ugh. Okay, so that is the TBR for November. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. It's so strange to say. Bye.